I want to talk a little bit about an article I recently read. It was in the New York Times, which I normally avoid, but this title caught my attention. It was titled, "The Right's Big Lie About a Sexual Assault in Virginia." So, and I heard about this a while ago when right-wingers on Facebook and Twitter were talking about a case of rape in a high school bathroom by someone using a trans-inclusive policy to gain entrance to the bathroom, to the girls' bathroom. Now, I understand that this is this is the kind of thing that is on my red flags for obvious bullshit, but I thought I would take a shot and Google it anyway. And I found a bunch of articles that shared the same facts and the same narrative and were using the same rhetoric about it. And they were always combining a story of a girl who was being raped, and they added, they were combining it with the trans-inclusive policy of the school, and framing it as though this person was trans and was using this as an opportunity to rape someone in the bathroom. The stereotypical scaremongering idea, this fit the exact thing that they try to portray all the time. And obviously, even if one person did this thing one time, that is not a justification for the exclusion of trans people from any rights to use the washroom of their gender. There's no reason to connect this one person to the broader trans community. There's no reason for any of that, even if the facts on the ground were exactly as described in various articles. But it turns out that that's not how it was anyway. The guy who did the raping wasn't trans at all, was a cis guy, and didn't use a trans inclusion as a purpose, as a way of getting into the girls' washroom, because that wasn't a policy when the rape happened. It didn't become a policy till after this happened. So, and apparently the guy was the ex-boyfriend of the girl that he raped, and she wanted to talk to him about something, so they went to a specific room, a bathroom that they could have some privacy in and have a conversation, and he took that as an opportunity to rape her. Of course, this won't make it into the right-wing media sphere. And even if it did, they would still try to twist it up to gain, to try and keep trans women from using the washroom that they identify with. The washroom that matches their gender, even if they can twist it, they will. So this is, I hate to say it, but this is a case of the culture war narrative coming from a right-wing media sphere and distorting facts so that they could play up a fear that they created in order to frame their bigoted views as protecting women. And this is, I think, an example of why we on the left cannot pretend that issues like trans inclusion or bigotry against the LGBTQ community is a fringe issue that we shouldn't worry about while we focus on class. We absolutely need to beat TERFs and right-wing lies and all that reactionary fascist bullshit wherever we see it, because they are in our way. Our enemies are many, and those they oppress are our comrades. That is how this has to work. But, okay, I'm not a fan of the New York Times, but I will include a link to the article in the show notes for this episode in case you want to read more on that. But I want to emphasize how important it is that we take trans liberation, LGBTQ liberation seriously when we're talking about the issues that we want to address in society. Yes, class is a major issue, but so is racism, so is feminism. These are major things that we need to be on board with. And LGBTQ liberation is no different than those. I mean, I guess people who listen to this probably understand my perspective already. I believe that the intersection of class and other forms of oppression is all tied together. And I think that we can and ought to deal with all of them as much as we can. Obviously, certain people are going to have focuses more in line with their particular struggle. But I think as on the left, we need to make sure that we're supporting our trans comrades. So I think that's everything I got to say about that. It's just, I saw this article, I read this, it's a short read. It's just a quick opinion piece about how the right has distorted this case and how none of the facts actually line up to what they've said in the Daily Wire or Fox or any of these other sources that you might find. And so I guess with that, if you like what I do, then make sure to subscribe, share, like, and all that stuff. And if you think my work is valuable and want to support it financially, then you can do that at patreon.com/skepticalleftist or buymeacoffee.com/skepticallefty. Those links are in my link tree along with all my other stuff.